ladies and gents. Welcome back to the pod. It's the finals week. Thanks for tuning in. Ian, how are you?
Yeah, doing really well, buddy. It's, warming up. People were ignoring restrictions, going down to the beach.
That's right. Fresh out of luck, mate. It's like fresh out of jail. Can't blame the people.
Yeah.
Can't blame them, man. They're gonna go wild.
I think people had enough. Just they can't give us stuff anymore.
Yeah. Look, I think we're doing better than most other parts of the world. America, you know, the
Exactly.
Big Don's just got the virus as well. So
Yeah,
you
there's
know,
concerns. People, don't trust what they're saying, of how bad it is. But yeah, we're gonna see.
yeah, he could be lying about it. You never know. Get some sympathy votes, mate.
He's in that age group though. Him and Biden, like I couldn't believe that
Oh,
they're both bloody. Like Trump's 74 and Biden's 77.
yeah. They are granddads, borderline great granddads. I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
Anyway, over the basketball. So yeah, Miami Game 7 against the Celtics.
Yeah, let's start there. I personally think if Celtics won, they might have, in terms of talent levels, they might have given Lakers more of a more trouble. I personally think, but Celtics just could not handle their zone defense, Miami's zone defense. It's unbelievable. And Kemba Walker went under. Right, this is the great thing about playoffs. Some people rise,
Yep.
some people just fade away. We've seen it over and over again. Someone like Paul George, right? We've seen him rise in the past, but we saw this year and also last year when he was with OKC, him fade away. And I think Kemba, unfortunately, hopefully doesn't get tainted in a similar manner. So I find those two aspects were, one of the main things that they lost.
Yeah, look, I would have loved to see the Celtics and Lakers again. Relive those days. But yeah, I think they probably have not more bigs. Some people to contain AD, whereas the Heat, I think, who's their biggest big? Kelly Olynyk, Bam Adebayo. That's about it.
Well, Bam takes all the minutes. Olynyk and Myers Leonard is there as well.
Yeah, I haven't seen Myers Leonard play at all. Like maybe a couple of minutes.
Game two started.
Yeah.
Game two started in Bam's place, but yeah, it's just. Let's just talk about the East overall, right? Let's talk about the path Miami's taken. They beat Pacers, and then they beat Toronto in the.
Yep.
No, sorry, Celtics beat Toronto. So look, overall, Miami beat the Bucks.
Yeah,
obviously.
that was huge.
That is huge. That says something about the Bucks more than anything really, and Giannis.
Yep.
His inability to rise above the extra attention he would get in the playoffs rather than regular season. So yeah, look, let's face it. It is definitely the weaker conference, right? Can we argue for them? No, right?
No.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So
and Bam had a great game on Game 7. He was 32 points, 14 rebounds, a few blocks.
Yep.
He was massive.
I think it's a good 1-2 punch. Don't get me wrong. Bam and Butler, when they're playing really hard, which I haven't really seen, to be honest, at the start of the finals. We'll get into it slowly. But they played tenacious defense, very greedy team, and I think they rolled some teams in the East because of that, and also their shot making ability. But overall, look, I just have to say the East. I'm really looking forward to Kevin Durant and Kyrie getting their act together. They sound like they're in with the fairies again in terms of what their latest social media posts are saying. But I'm really looking forward to those two guys coming back and really shaking up the East, and also Ben Simmons coming back and giving Philly a bit more power as well. So any other last words on the East?
Yeah, I think Kyrie and Kevin Durant, as crazy as they are, they've got a great supporting cast there as well, and they played really well without them this year.
Mm, mm. Yep.
So if they can, like, if they can make that work as well as the new coaching, let's see.
Mm. So let's move to the NBA Finals, and obviously Lakers part. We'll let's touch on that as well. Um,
Hmm.
I, we got to say it's a harder path, right? They've taken a harder path to get here. They beat Houston, which is again got a great 1-2 punch. James Harden and Russell Westbrook, and even going back to Portland, with CJ McCollum, Dame he got injured, and resurging Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
I'd argue those teams are, if not all, are better than most of those teams in the East. So battle tested, and then of course Denver, who is a rising up and coming team with young superstars, and they were able to only lose, I think, 3 games overall in coming out of the West. I mean, that says a lot about the Lakers, right? They lost 1 game to Portland, the first game. They lost the first game to Houston, and I believe they lost game
Hmm.
two to Denver. And even though the West is stacked, Lakers still only lost 3 games, man. It's crazy, right?
Hmm. Yeah. Just such a powerhouse at the moment, and I think their supporting cast sort of stepped up, and like return of Howard and Rondo certainly helped.
Yep. Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's Rondo and Dwight Howard are on veterans minimum, right? Like $1 million a year. So
Yeah, no.
talk about getting bargain basement deals and getting unbelievable value out of those deals, right? It's amazing. They've done really well, and you can argue they're the third and fourth best players so far for the Lakers, which I think it's fair to say at this point they are, and they're getting that kind of value from a salary cap point of view. It's brilliant.
Hmm.
And on the flip side, Danny Green is on about 15 million compared to these two. So
Yeah, yeah. Like he's had his moments, but not 15 mil
yeah,
worth.
yeah, definitely not getting paid over for sure. But he's I'm sure he's happy about it.
Yeah.
Um, so let's talk about the matchups. Firstly, Anthony Davis, man, he's on fire at the moment. He's, to be honest, for me, I've been just watching, and even in the last round, I'm thinking, is this guy now the best player in the world? Has he taken LeBron's spot? I mean, right now, you can say, right, without Kevin Durant in the picture, James Harden is coming down, and although Giannis has won MVP back to back, we know he's not the best player in the world. I was just thinking, man, AD, the way he plays and the way he defends, the way he blocks shots, you could argue he's the best player in the world.
Mm.
And therefore, who's the best matchup for him? Miami is the question.
No one really, because he's just so
Yeah.
big and nimble. Like he moves really well. I just saw
Mm.
him, duck around the little guys as well, just to get around them. No one really with Bam out. I don't think anyone can defend him as well, because Bam's the guy that's like he's a little bit undersized, but he's got the athletic ability to move with AD.
No doubt. Yeah. I think Bam is the man. He's had a great year so far. Versatile enough, big enough, and can handle him up the top of the perimeter as well. But he's injured. So and on the flip side, I think for LeBron, there are a lot of matchups for him. At least guys that can slow him down. Of course, Andre Iguodala, right, won an MVP against LeBron.
Yeah, he looked a bit slow.
He
Yeah,
looks like an old man now with that new haircut and that scraggy facial hair he's got going on.
yeah. Like I saw him on LeBron, and like Bron's still bloody, like a steam train rolling down, and Iggy,
Mm,
some parts were struggling to stay with him.
you're right. You're right. I've noticed he's lost a little bit of sharpness. Let's face it, Iggy didn't play most of this season, right?
Yeah, he hasn't.
He was chilling, working on his venture capital business deals, books, writing, tours, etc. So it could be a little bit of that. I think, and Iguodala's 1 or 2 years younger than LeBron. I'm pretty sure as well. So he's still got a bit left in him. And of course, in terms of LeBron stoppers, Jay Crowder has had a great history of at least containing LeBron. Matches him for size as well.
Mm.
So and Jimmy Butler can switch on him too. So I think from LeBron's side of things, it's very interesting that they've got enough
I
people to
think they got him
cover
covered.
for him.
If
Yeah.
you look at the zone defense, it's LeBron and AD breaking that defense. The rest of them are contained, but then the way LeBron and AD play, and even Rondo, I see they just know how to um, get around that zone very easily, and it makes it so that like you hear the commentators, they go, "Oh, it doesn't look like the same defense they played on the Celtics." Well, the Celtics are a very inexperienced team,
Mm,
and you look at them, and they couldn't really read the defense that well,
mm,
right? They were getting switched on very easily. Whereas LeBron and AD, they're both great passers, right? They're both used to be point guards, and they're bigger than usual point guard, and they can read. And Rondo as well. Rondo, even though he's small, he's got those massive
mm.
hands.
I was just going to
Right.
say NBA Twitter was talking about the same thing. It literally took them about 5 or 6 plays to figure out the zone as well, right? They're literally
Mm.
running back cuts and then three ball, back cuts, three ball, or penetrate, dribble the ball out. So whereas Celtics struggle with it, all series. I guess you're right. They are a young team, so but sure, young team. They've got a coaching staff that's supposed to be elite, right? Brad Stevens is meant to be some kind of guru, so just goes to show, even from that point of view, Lakers how quickly they picked it up. Rondo, obviously, really high basketball IQ. LeBron, really high basketball IQ. When those two guys are handling the rock and trying to penetrate through the zone, it does get easy.
Yeah, they make it look so easy. I mean, the other guys just doesn't follow his lead, right?
So, in terms of, I guess, opportunities for Miami to
Mm.
beat this team, I think the three ball is going to drop, right? If the three's not dropping,
Yeah, that's what I was
from
thinking too. That if the three ball ain't dropping for the Lakers, that's the only chance that Miami have live and die by the three.
that's it. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Duncan Robinson, man, what happened to him the first 2 games? Right, he's had a great playoff series so far.
Uh-huh.
It's like he's overawed by the situation. I kind of watched him the first 2 games, and he's a shell of a player. There's articles that's been written about him, how he played. It was Division 3 player. He moved over to Michigan, I think. He's he thought he's just going to move into sports marketing. That was his future,
Yeah,
and now he's in the NBA. But I don't know, man. He looks overawed. Tyler Harrow, I'm a bucket. He hasn't had a great 2 games so far either. Um,
yeah, but he's trying to make things happen. I guess that's the difference between him and Robinson. But he's also getting double the minutes.
mm, mm. Yeah, that's right. I mean, Dragic being out game 2 as well. I mean, Hero was more of a complementary piece, shooting and a little bit of penetration,
Mm.
while Dragic was the main point guard. So yeah, look, there's still upside by way of shooting. Defensively, they're really small as well, right? Like
Yep.
in terms of who plays for Miami, they're a really small team. I mean, I sort of look at Miami's team and I look at the Clippers. They really didn't pay much of attention to beefing up their power forward positions and center positions. Same with
Mm-hmm.
Miami. They're rolling with one guy, right? Like they're really rolling with just Bam Adebayo. And Leonard doesn't really
Yeah.
play. Olenek doesn't play, and so same as Clippers, and it became the undoing. It's almost the resurgence of the big man, the really polished, skilled big man. AD of course, and Jokic, and those guys are still 7 footers are still very very important in this league. Is one of the main lessons I think we can learn.
Yeah, I
Um,
think it's less back to basketball, but it's
mm,
just rotating around, being able to hit the threes when they're required to,
mm.
when the defense sags off them. Jokic did that really well as well, and
No doubt. Oh, absolutely. No
uh,
doubt. I think it's just a 7 footer that can shoot the three, that can create their own shot, that can make plays and drag defenders out to the perimeter. Those guys are premium, right? You're right. The back to the basket grinding, slow moving dinosaurs. They are a thing of the past, right? You can get a couple of minutes from those guys, but they are a thing of the past. But geez, those polished 7 footers are just an absolute luxury. I think a lot of teams will go back to school on that this off season. A lot of teams are playing small ball, right? Like those death squad lineups Golden State were playing with. Obviously, Kevin Durant, Andre Iguodala, Draymond, Steph, and Clay. There are a lot of teams that try to copy that and emulate that,
Hmm.
but a skilled big man comes along and it gets hard. And this is kind of what happened with Toronto, right? Toronto came in with Marc Gasol, a really polished guy that can make plays, pass, shoot, and also they had players like Serge Ibaka that could do the same thing. And that was kind of the undoing of Golden State. So really interesting. The NBA slightly moving away from the whole small ball world for me has been something that I've seen quite up close.
Yeah, definitely. Because Gasol, if he was 5 years younger, right, I reckon they wouldn't have lost against the Heat.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I watched some games of that series. I was quite. It was interesting. In hindsight, I'm really surprised they lost that
Mm.
series. To be honest, I think Kyle Lowry went missing in certain times, and Spicy P again, someone that had a great regular season but went missing in the playoffs. So I think that's that wing play wasn't quite there for Toronto. So um, yeah, who do you want to see step up for Miami the next couple of games, and what do you want to see come out of Lakers the next couple of games?
Well, it depends if Adebayo comes back. I want to see probably more scoring from Kendrick Nunn, and the rookies step up as well, Hero and Robinson.
Yep. Yeah, I want to see someone else, drop 30 aside from Jimmy Butler. Simple as that. If they want to win,
Yeah,
and play
I
harder,
mean,
man.
game two, Olynyk had 24. That was
Mm.
okay.
Oh yeah, that's great. Yep.
He did really well.
Yep. And I just want to see these guys play harder, right? They're meant to be this gritty, grinding team. They didn't do any of that the first two games, so I want to see better defense. Is something we all want. And really,
Hmm.
Lakers, man, it's the new Kobe and Shaq, AD and LeBron.
Yeah, that's. I saw the comparisons saying
It's
and the
for real.
interviews.
I just hope they stay together
Like,
for another year or
come
two.
on.
You never know. AD might get a little bit
Yeah,
funny and try to think about moving back to Chicago. But really, hold on to a good thing, man. You could have a good two, three
yeah.
year run and be known for a long, long, long time, well past your playing days, to be this dominant duo for a period of time. So I really
Is LeBron on like 1 year
no.
deals,
LeBron's
or is
LeBron
he
signed a 4 year deal, so he's actually got 2 more
okay?
years. But AD,
Okay.
I think, has an opt out or a player option or
Mm.
something like that. He's sort of on one and ones, 1 year
Yep.
guaranteed, and then 1 year opt out. Yeah,
I think if they win, Jeannie Bus, she'll put in the money. I
no
don't think she'll
doubt.
care.
And I don't think AD would want to leave, right? If they have such a great season, and this is going to be the best season he's ever had, right? Really. Only thing would
Mm.
be if AD starts thinking, "Oh man, maybe I am the best player in the world. Why does LeBron get all the
Yeah.
kudos? Because look at me, I should have been the MVP." And this is the other thing for me, right? Who's going to be the MVP of the finals? Because there's a huge case for AD.
Yeah.
It's going to be I think it's going to be a very interesting decision that's going to be made. I'm thinking, well, can they share the award? Would that even happen? Because I don't know. At the moment, I think AD's deserves it more
Mm.
slightly.
It's very close, huh?
So that's honestly that's one of the things I'm waiting to see over the next couple of games, how that plays out. So, but hey, man, it's the new Kobe and Shaq, and in honor of the late great Kobe. I hope they get it done right and make it and really make this season for him and win for him and his family. I think that'd be great to see.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Some other news. Doc Rivers, 5-year deal in Philly. What did you think of it? Do you think he's lucky?
It was announced overnight, and I called it last week because Doc got fired. I wonder if they're going to take him at the Sixers because there was talk
Yeah,
about.
you did. Yeah, you did say that.
There's talk about Ty Lue and who's the other guy? I forgot. But I said, yeah, they'll probably go with Doc. Oh, no, actually, it was D'Antoni.
Mike D'Antoni.
Yeah. So, but like I said, D'Antoni doesn't really. Their system doesn't work with the two bigs, right? And Doc, he can work around it, because he's had bigs before, and he had a great system going with the Celtics. And I reckon in terms of who they've got on the Sixers team, it's not too dissimilar to what they had when Doc was at the Celtics.
That's right. Yeah. And I think Doc Rivers, he's a great leader of men. He's a uniting force, which is probably what is required at the Sixers at the moment. Bring Joel Embiid back into the fold and get him involved and get the most out of Ben Simmons. And I think they need a big name type coach to pull that city together as well. So. Yeah, let's see what happens over there and what kind of moves they make. Tobias Harris, he's actually the highest paid player in that roster, believe it or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
Get something out of him.
If I reckon they trade him for something, but I don't know anyone wants to pay that money for Tobias Harris.
He's a good player. He's probably not an all-star level. He's on the cusp type player, but he's on a max deal. So you're right. I don't know who wants him at that price.
Yeah.
And Ty Lue, he will get a job, right? I think we're all pretty confident. He's won a ring with LeBron 4-year stint at the Cavaliers. So I think he's being interviewed by New Orleans Clippers. Obviously, he's an assistant coach right now, and I believe there's a role in Indiana vacant as well, with Nate McMillan being let go. So there's a few vacancies at the moment.
Yeah, big changing of the guard in the coaching scenes as well. Looks like
OKC's got a hiring job because Billy Donovan got fired, but then got hired at Chicago.
Yeah,
Couple of spots. Yeah, I'm curious to see will Mike D'Antoni get another job? He's 65 years old. His game is really good to bring a team that's been underperforming into a playoff level, right? Like really exciting, fast pace, lots of buckets. Bring the fans in. I think his game style is good for that. His game style is never going to win the championship though, so we'll have to wait and see.
All right.
Well, that's it. And I do have a quick tool of the week.
Sure.
It's our mate Kyrie Irving.
Oof.
Came out of nowhere and said, thank God I've now got someone that can be just as good as me down the stretch.
A little dig at LeBron.
Exactly. Just a little dig. And then LeBron came back and said, the thing about me and AD is that we don't get jealous of each other. So, Curry doing his thing, man. He's still the same dude.
I got another tool for you.
Okay.
Scottie Pippen.
What did he say? What did he do?
It was back in LeBron's legacy, saying, what the Lakers are doing now, they're not playing basketball, they're just playing, warm-ups because there's no crowd in it. I like, but they're still competing at a very high level. Like, you look at it, it's not just a little scrimmage, right? Yes, there's no crowd, but, what can you do? Would you rather not have basketball at all?
Yeah. Oh, God, Scotty. Let's just let him say what he wants to say, I guess. All right. Well, that's it. We're halfway through the finals at the moment. Miami's getting their ass beat. But funny things have happened, right? We've seen We've
Mhm.
seen Dallas 2006 up against Miami. I'm pretty sure they were up 2-0 and about to go
Yeah.
3-0 up when Dwayne Wade, back from about 12 or 15 points down, just tore them apart down the stretch and won 4 in a row, from my understanding.
Yeah.
And also on the flip side, 2011, Miami were the hot favorite, won the first game, and then up about again 15 points, game two down the stretch, and Dirk Nowitzki went to town, and then we know what happened in that series. So look, funny things can
Yep.
happen, but got to see more. Got to see more out of Miami. So wait and see.
Definitely.
All right. Well, chat soon.
Yep. Hit subscribe, tell your friends, and yeah, see you next time.
See you next time. Adios.